Hello people, it's a secret anime fan here, and today I have a video on Belle-Mère, a very heartfelt character, and this video will focus on her story and an overview of her character. Now this will most likely contain spoilers, especially for the character Nami, but even so it's the kind of character you can be spoiled on but still enjoy the story. It might even make it better. As you can see, Bellemere is a slim woman with a unique hairstyle. Bellemere was a former Marine and the adopted mother of Nami and Nojiko. She is introduced in episode 35 of the anime and chapter 77 of the manga. Bellemere was a well-known troublemaker in her younger days until one day she decided to join the Marines, much to the shock of her local villagers whom tried to change her mind on the subject, showing that despite being a troublemaker they cared for Bellemere even deep down. But Belle-Mère was set on joining the Marines so she could help fight all the bad pirates, whilst her rank as a Marine is unknown. It is noted that she does wear a officer's coat, so I'd probably put her at Lieutenant Commander. Or maybe Lieutenant Junior grade at a minimum. Others put Belle-Mère at least Captain, as most of the time people below that rank don't wear officer coats, but there are some that do, so that's why I put her at a lower rank. Just to let you know, Lieutenant Commander is the 8th highest Marine rank, Lieutenant Junior grade is the 10th, with Captain being 6th, and she's pretty weak, so that's why I put her down lower in the ranks, but let's continue. Okay, I'm going to talk about the history of her life as a Marine for a bit. Belle-Mère one day was sent to a kingdom called Oiko to deal with the problem of pirates there. It was a bloody ordeal which left many dead and desecrated the village they were fighting in. Belle-Mère had been severely injured from the exchange, was left wounded and dying. Content with the situation, felt it was okay to let herself die, but before she was good to give it all up, she spotted two young children. Those being Nojiko and who was carrying a small Nami. Seeing the two, she decided to carry on living and took both the children back to her home village. On return to her village, a storm had occurred and both Nami and Nojiko had both fallen ill. Bellemere, who was not unscathed due to the storm and her previous injuries, insisted the children get treatment first. Once all three had recovered, Bellemere wanted to keep the children, but the local villagers brought up the topic of putting the two up for adoption, but Bellemere opposed the idea, coming to the conclusion she was now mature enough and old enough to look after the two herself. Several years later in the story, we see that all three are living together in one household in Kokoyashi village, Bellemere's home village, the village that the storm was on, of course. They seem to live in relative peace, but that's not the same. That's not to say the times weren't tough. Bellemere, whom seemingly had no job except for a tangerine grove, and I would like to think some kind of pension from the Marines, but that's not verified or anything. She had very little money to spare due to having such a little income, but with the little money she did have, she focused on giving it towards caring for Nami and Nojiko, providing food and other things. Even going as far to not eat so they can eat when the prices of the tangerines fell, hiding the fact that times were tough instead of saying she was on a diet. By the way, all of this is like a flashback episode. This is where I'm getting all the info from. During this flashback, we see what kind of parent Bellemere is. When Nami gets caught stealing a book so she could study navigation, Bellemere deals with the situation in quite the jovial manner, leaving Nami and Bellemere laughing. But even so, she doesn't let Nami off the hook scot-free, giving her a good old-fashioned knuckle sandwich. She learns later that Nami wants to become a navigator and asks why she stole the book, which Nami knows Bellemere can't afford it, so it becomes painfully clear that both Nami and Nojiko are aware of Bellemere's financial situation. More on that in a second. But back to where I was. When Bellemere learns that Nami wants to become a navigator and draw a map of the whole world, she encourages Nami's dreams and places full confidence in her. Noting she has amazing talent dealing with the whole situation in a laid-back, cheerful manner, and that's what the character is of Belle-Mère. She's a cheerful, laid-back kind of character. But Belle-Mère doesn't always deal with situations jovially, and we see a much more serious side to her parenthood, when Nojiko and Nami are arguing about hand-me-downs, and Nami says to Nojiko, "You're not my sister." Bellemere takes it very seriously and loses it, slapping Nami, taking a statement to heart, stating that she never wants Nami to say that again, showing that she has a more serious side to her but is very passionate about her family. After Nami says she wishes Bellemere had never adopted her, in the way a small child would without fault and in anger, Bellemere makes the impetuous decision to let Nami run away, saying never come back. She was quite hot-headed in the whole situation, but soon calms down from a little talk from Nojiko about family. She decides to make Nami's favourite meal despite the financial hit it would cause her, and sends Nojiko to find Nami. Things were starting to look good again, but things were about to get worse when the arrival of Arlong, a fisherman pirate well renowned in the East Blue, the place where Kokoyashi village is. Arlong decides to take control of the island and would demand a payment from every villager, including children. After collecting payment from the villagers, Arlong notices smoke coming from a house. Grinning with delight that he still had one more household to collect the payment from, Arlong heads to Bellemere's house. Bellemere, like quite a badass, sneaks attacks Arlong, but Arlong was far too strong and Bellemere is subdued. Arlong demands the money, but Bellemere only had enough money to cover herself or her children, and of course, she chose Nami and Nojiko. Now, she actually could have got away with paying 100,000 berry instead of 200,000 berry, as there were no records of her having a family, but that would mean Nojiko and Nami would have to leave the island. Not wanting this to happen, she chose to die instead of having her children leave the island without the supervision of an adult. Quite the heartfelt moment, and I couldn't do it justice with my words and the images on the screen. So if you want to see more, either start watching One Piece, or if you just want to see this specific story, watch episode 35 and 36 of One Piece. Now I'm going to talk about Bellemere's personality, as I've dropped bits of info here and there. This should be a short segment. As I've already stated, Bellemere was a mischievous person as a child, but what I didn't quite mention is that kind of mischievous nature carried on over to her adulthood. A belt more likely more tamed in nature, but here's an example. When she was teasing Genzo, the man who caught Nami with the Nami stealing the book, she basically teased him with inappropriate suggested talk, knowing it would make him red and embarrassed. This kind of behaviour actually rubbed off on Nami a bit. So if you know One Piece, you know what I'm talking about. But this kind of behaviour rubbed off on Nami. We can see that in the story of One Piece. She's also, as I mentioned before, a bit of a hot-headed, indicating she has a slightly impulsive personality. But I hope you would agree it's in her personality to also show great compassion to the ones she loves. Bellemere is also seen to be a little bit cocky though, as when Shiki even, who by the way makes Arlong look like a kid in terms of power, escaped from prison, stating that should he ever step into East Blue, she will take care of him. And it's a side to her personality that we don't see in the flashback, because this is part of the movie, I believe, maybe. She also at times comes across as immature, noting that at one point that Nojiko was more mature than her in the flashback. Overall though, I would say she has a great personality, a happy laid back person with a funny personality, but prideful and compassionate at the same time. Maybe not the best role model at times, but a great parent. Okay, now to move on to her abilities and power. Now, as Bellemere is a minor character in the series, it's not clear how strong she is, but being a Marine, she most certainly accumulated some fighting experience and fighting prowess, although we have seen her beat twice in one flashback, but in one instance we can't really account for who was present when she was fighting. If she was fighting against fodder pirates, then we could see her as weak, but you never know who was there during that fight which she nearly died in. And the other opponent, as you know, was Arlong, one of the early villains in One Piece, where she was easily defeated, but Arlong was pretty strong for early One Piece, and he was a fisherman, which if I remember correctly are stated to be 10 times stronger than your average human. So let's say Bellemere is about 5 times stronger than your average human, which sounds decent. But as with all things in a long running anime, as time goes past, seems very, very weak. Now saying that, she is shown to be quite perceptive, able to recognise that Arlong and his fisherman pirate crew are outside her house, and she actually managed to get a drop on Arlong in a surprise attack with a rifle. Now if she had been more cutthroat and pulled the trigger instead of being more kind-hearted and using her attack as more of a threat, then who knows, she may have beat Arlong, but she probably wouldn't have been able to defeat the remaining fishermen that are around Arlong. Now I don't know if the bullet would have killed Arlong, but she did have a gun in his mouth. She's seen a couple times wielding a rifle, so we can assume Bellemere must have had some decent skill in using guns. That's about it for Bellemere. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you enjoyed this story, the character of Bellemere. Go watch the couple of episodes, or go watch One Piece, the early bits of One Piece. Come back to this video and let me know what you think of Bellemere. Let me know if makes you interested in watching One Piece. It's kind of the reason I do these videos, so people can look at the characters that I'm doing in this series and think, oh, well, I like that character, I like that character. And if you like enough characters, you'll probably like the anime. Well, that's my intention with these videos. I hope you enjoyed. I've got more One Piece videos to come. I'm going to do some Dragon Ball videos again, probably branch off into Naruto, you name it. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see ya.